The IRS has 45 days after a return is filed to process it and pay out a refund, after which the IRS agency has to pay interest. As of April 1st, the interest rate for individual filers, which tied to the Federal Reserve's benchmark rate, which ticked up from 3 to 4%, with the IRS sitting on a massive backlog of millions of returns, and that extra point could amount to a big chunk of cash for the Treasury. And not only that, folks, but listen to this. Interest payments may just be a drop in the bucket for the millions of people still waiting on tax refunds. Last week, the IRS disclosed it had a backlog of 9.6 million unprocessed returns. It did not specify how many of those were at the 45-day mark, but said the number includes returns received before 2022. Another reason the interest payments are getting larger is because of the extensions granted by President Biden in 2021. While taxpayers were allowed to file late, the refund deadline was tied to the original tax day, giving the agency even less time to process a return before interest started occurring. Now, refunds can be an important economic lifeline for taxpayers, especially low-income ones. Filers who were still waiting on 2020 refunds in February told Insider News that without their checks, they were struggling to afford groceries, childcare, and even pay their home bills. Now more than 42 million people in the country rely on SNAP programs to help feed their families. And with SNAP benefits, people can purchase several products. Each fiscal year, the USDA adjusts the SNAP maximum allotments, deductions, and income eligibility standards based on the changes in the cost of living. So Nancy Pelosi, everybody, is finally taking action for the people, and there are now several plans to allocate billions of dollars towards a fourth round of stimulus payments for everybody that needs it. Here's the most important stimulus check and Social Security news that I want you guys to know. Make sure you continue watching this video. You don't want to miss out on this. Pelosi has just told the Biden administration to seek tens of billions of dollars more in emergency crisis relief. She has suggested that it would take more than $40 billion to meet the needs of the people in the larger global community. Now, Joe Biden has asked Congress for $22.5 billion in new funding to fight the ongoing crisis. But folks, that figure was whittled down to just $15.6 billion in the face of Republican opposition, all on Capitol Hill. And earlier today, Pelosi said that even a larger $22.5 billion figure was too small, arguing that it provided relief to only the small part of people. Pelosi told reporters that, "I think they should be double what they asked for, because even when they were asking for $20-some billion, it was only going to get us to June." So do you guys agree with Nancy Pelosi and her belief for more stimulus checks? And most importantly, do you think that Nancy Pelosi will send out more stimulus checks along with President Biden this year? Tell me what you think, folks, in the comments down below. Now, the comments came shortly after Pelosi and the Democratic leaders met together in the Capitol with Biden administration top officials. Now, in seeking $22.5 billion for the crisis relief earlier this month, the Biden administration had said that it would cover the immediate needs of the crisis response over the next few months. This request also proposed that a large bulk of the funding, $4.25 billion exactly, would provide help abroad the State Department and the U.S. Agency for International Development. But Republicans, everybody, have balked at the figure, saying it was both too high and needed to be paid for by spending cuts elsewhere in the budget. And bipartisan negotiators have come to an agreement on the $15.6 billion figure. During an interview today, the Transportation Secretary says that inflation should moderate once supply chains get back to normal. And when asked about the current levels of inflation, the Transportation Secretary told Yahoo News, "I don't think anything is permanent, but I think it's clear that this is a serious economic issue." So the president has been focused on the prices and the effect on Americans for some time. This week, the Biden administration unveiled a new program designed to tackle inflation by improving data visibility in supply chains. The initiative is led by the Transportation Secretary and the National Economic Council. It's called the Freight Logistics Optimization Works. Now, this data is sharing in the
same right. As a co-lead of the PRO Act, I've continuously pushed for pro-worker policies that prioritize safety, equity, and better pay. And like other workers, congressional staff deserve to be protected at work. They put in long, hard